Hi, sweet friends. I am so glad that you have decided to join us for the VIP After Party. Why isn't everyone doing this? Where these amazing, brilliant guests get to share even deeper practices. The things that we couldn't fit onto the podcast itself, they are going to transmit to you here. And today we have the brilliant, the resplendent, the most gifted teacher and facilitator I have ever had the privilege of witnessing time and time again. And I'm so excited that today she is going to give us a little window into the path to ecstatic liberation. So as you know, I ask every podcast guest, if you could install one code into the species, what would it be? And she gave us, the small thing of ecstatic liberation. Obviously, we're not going to do that in 15 to 20 minutes. So today, she's going to lead us on an exercise where we can start to see our bodies as a temple. And that means embracing and loving the quote unquote darker emotions, and maybe even starting to let go of some of the shame and programming around your pleasure. So I'm personally really excited to go on this journey. And I am so excited that you're joining us today. Layla, thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, so I'm going to invite you to come into a position that feels comfortable for you. So if you want to be seated with your spine straight, or you can be lying down. If you're lying down, I recommend that you put your knees to the ceiling and the soles of your feet on the floor of the bed, because that signals to your body that you're doing something as opposed to falling asleep. So I'm going to invite you to go ahead and close your eyes. And everything that I say is always an invitation, never an order. Follow your truth moment to moment. I'm going to invite us to create a ritual space which signals to our system that we are going somewhere deeper today. So you can do this by feeling a gold ring of light surrounding your space. This starts to create the ritual space. It's as though you were drawing a gold ring of light around you on the ground or the bed. And this invites you to thin the veils between the conscious and the unconscious mind, and to start to know and touch and contact the deeper parts of you. To know thyself. I invite you to feel an iridescent bubble of light surrounding you. And this creates a safer space for your nervous system to relax in. Inside of this iridescent bubble, I invite you to have a commitment to self-love, self-compassion, honoring your experience, dignifying whatever shows up as exactly perfect in this moment. I invite you to let your nervous system soften and to trust yourself that moment to moment you can always listen to yourself and do whatever you need. I invite you to feel your crown on, the spiritual gold ring of light surrounding your crown chakra at the top of your head. A reminder of your royalty. King, queen, royal sovereign, here and now. You don't need to be more perfect, more fixed, more spiritual, more anything. No, you are worthy and royal by very virtue of your existence in this sacred universe, just as you are. Goddess don't make mistakes, and you are not her first. You are wanted in this moment exactly as you are by this infinite universe. Feeling that. That is the meaning of keeping your crown on and proud. Practicing not from a space of something is lacking, but as much as possible from a space of joyful expression, a knowing of your own wholeness moment to moment, no matter what is here, no matter where you're at. Now I'm going to invite us into a practice called My Body is a Temple. And I invite you to feel what represents to you a sacred temple. So maybe a pilgrimage temple you would go to for goddess worship. Maybe a temple you have been to in your life that has been sacred to you, where you have touched the divine. A temple is a house for God, goddess, universal consciousness. I invite you to feel your body the same. A temple for the expression of God, goddess consciousness through you. Sometimes this can be more powerful when you offer it as a blessing. So I invite you to take your hands, to place them wherever you feel called on your body, and to say, this is a temple. This is a temple. A temple becomes a temple because we call it so. So placing your hands on your body, this is a temple. This is a temple. This is a temple. This is a temple. Feeling your body as a sacred house of worship. What gets worshipped, right? What do you get to be intimate with? When you come to a temple, the intention is to be intimate with God, Goddess, with the Creator, with universal essence. I invite you to feel that universal essence flows through you just as much as anywhere else in this universe. Maybe that feels true to you. If it doesn't, I invite you to take it on as a what if. What if I could feel universal consciousness flowing through me the same as it does anything else in the universe? So as we come to a temple to be intimate with divine consciousness, I invite you to feel what it would be like to be inside of your body as a way to be intimate with all of reality. The expression of divine consciousness within you, the moment to moment appearance of sensation, of emotion, of thought pattern. So as you worship in the temple of your body with the intention to be intimate with the divine, I invite you to start with some of the sensations, to notice sensations arising in your body. Notice what it feels like, where your skin is contacting what you're sitting or lying on. And become intimate with that sensation, become close with it. Even if you're a devotional being, become devotional to it. I invite you to notice other sensational experiences in your body. Things like expanding or contracting, tingling, heaviness, lightness, sharpness, dullness, flow. Whatever sensation you feel for the next 2 minutes, I'm going to invite us to become intimate with that sensation, to be close with it, to be inside of it, to experience it as divine consciousness moving through the temple. And I invite you to feel that all is welcome in this temple. All of your sensations are welcome. All of your emotions are welcome. All of your thoughts are welcome. Because what if you could be intimate with them in love? That doesn't mean they get to control your reality. That doesn't mean they overtake you. Doesn't mean they run your life. It means they can be welcome so that you can be intimate with them, that you can meet them with love. The beingness of you, the feeling of you-ness, having so much freedom that you can choose love, intimacy, and devotion with your inner experience. I invite you to feel from your heart space what that could feel like with your emotions. So touching for a moment sadness. Maybe there's sadness already alive inside of you. Maybe you want to recall the last time you were sad. And just feel what it is to be intimate with your sadness. It's like you take the sense of I that's sometimes in your head or maybe in your chest and your heart, and you move that feeling of I-ness, of beingness, of presence into your sadness, cradling it like a divine mother would a beloved child, holding it with love. And if your sadness wants to move, if your chest shakes, if you want to shed tears, welcoming the movement of your sadness, celebrating it, but continuing to hold it with intimacy and love. You can feel for the consciousness of your sadness, the aliveness of your sadness. In the Tantric tradition, we can worship the various emotions as conscious expressions of the goddess. Just like there are goddesses of ocean and fertility and love and mountains, there can be goddesses of sadness and fear and shame. So thanking your sadness, the wisdom, the teaching of your sadness. And switching now to fear, either finding fear within your body or remembering the last time you were very afraid. And always do this practice in a way that you can stay present and connected and loving. This is the only way that transformation happens. If the emotion starts to overwhelm you, you can always open your eyes and practice self-care. Do something fun or celebratory. As long as you feel resourced and safe inside of your body. So I invite you to become intimate with your fear. To connect with it with love, even devotion. To hold it in your arms. To take the sense of I, of beingness, and become so close. If the fear wants to move or shake through you or express, allowing and welcoming that. What could you have in your life? What kind of liberation if fear didn't stop you, but fear was an invitation for deeper connection to yourself, to your experience, an invitation to love yourself even more deeply. Now you can do this with any emotion, any experience. But the last one I'm going to invite us into, of the heavier, sometimes the more challenging emotions, because it's often a blockage for our ecstatic liberation, our sexual expression, is shame. So either feeling shame if it's alive in your body, or feeling the last time that you felt ashamed contacting that experience, and becoming intimate with your shame. What if you could move towards it like you would a best friend, a beloved crush? I like to call this eating shame for breakfast because it doesn't have to scare you anymore. It doesn't have to put you off. It's just an experience. It's another blessed experience of life. Feeling shame as a conscious aspect of the goddess. And as you become intimate with the shame, bringing it love, even celebration. thanking your shame, letting it release and move through you. And I'm going to invite you now to become intimate with your own love. Either feeling love in this moment or the last time you felt deep, intense love. Loving your own love. Feeling your sense of beingness. So intimate, so connected with your own love. Notice how intimacy integrates that which wants to be integrated and healed, and activates and amplifies that which supports your system to thrive, because nature wants you to thrive. So when you meet yourself, when you become intimate with yourself, you actually unlock your body's inherent ability to do what is best for you. We have to make space for the integration and the healing to open up, digest, and complete. But your system will actually take whatever you become intimate with and start to do what is best for you in that intimacy. Now I invite you to feel for your pleasure. You can lightly stroke your own skin. You can just feel the pleasure of being alive. You can remember the last time you were in deep pleasure. And I invite you to become intimate with your own pleasure. What would it feel like to move towards your pleasure? To take the sense of being, of I-ness, and move to the center of your pleasure. To love it, to encourage it. With your body as temple, I like to think of pleasure as the incense blessing that you can fill the temple with. Why not fill the temple of divine consciousness with pleasure as often as possible? Doesn't mean that pain isn't welcome, doesn't mean the realities of life aren't welcome. What it means is when I have space, why not fill my divine temple with pleasure? And finally, I invite for you to feel your sexual nature, your sexual essence. So what can be helpful sometimes is to feel down into your pelvic floor, into your pelvis, into your sexual center, and to actually feel for a moment. So you can't think this, but to feel for what your sexuality would be like. What that essence is that is there before anybody taught you anything. Pre all of your experiences in this life, pre everyone else's story, everyone else's conditioning. What kind of sexual energy and essence do you carry by birthright? Feel for that. I invite you to become intimate with that nature, intimate with your own sexual essence. I invite us to breathe into our sexual essence as you continue to become more intimate. So we're going to take 7 breaths together, inhaling and exhaling right into the sexual essence. invite you now to ask for a message from your sexuality. Literally invite your sexuality to share a message with you, something that you most need to hear in this moment, and listen for the response. Now I invite you to feel, and again, this is a feeling into it. What could you have? What would your life be like if you took steps in the direction of erotic liberation, whatever that means to you? Remembering that you can be erotically liberated in a monogamous marriage. You can be erotically liberated as a single person. It means to allow your sexual energy to flow through your life, to allow your eroticism to move through you according to your truth, not everyone else's. Letting yourself have a vision of what that could be. If this is something you desire, I'm going to invite us to say 7 yeses, to affirm an intention, to walk in the direction of our own erotic activation, our own erotic liberation, whatever that means for us. And this can be a gradual, easeful process. It doesn't happen in one day. It's a slow, pleasurable, luscious unfolding. So if you're feeling yes, we're going to say 7 yeses together to seal this intention. Yes. 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 And then finally, I invite you to feel, what are some of your desires, your erotic desires, your sexual desires, letting yourself feel those. And then I'm going to invite us to say 7 yeses to close to our pleasure and our sexual essence. For most of us, we've never been affirmed and celebrated in our pleasure and our erotic essence in our entire lives. So as we say 7 yeses, I want you to feel yourself saying yes first to your own pleasure, your own erotic essence. Yes. 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 And finally, if it feels true to you, we're going to say 7 yeses for each other's. I'm going to be yesing Emily's pleasure, Emily's erotic essence. I'm going to be yesing your essence, your erotic essence, your pleasure, and everyone here on the planet whose true intention is to live in pleasure, to live in their own version of erotic liberation for themselves. 7 yeses for you, for me, for all of us. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. So this concludes our body as a temple practice. I invite you to place one hand over your heart, one hand over your lower belly. Feeling the sovereignty of this temple, the wisdom of your own universal consciousness within. I invite you to feel the gold ring of light dissipate. Our ritual is complete. The iridescent bubble of light dissipates. And if you wish, you can grow roots from the base of your pelvis deep, deep, deep into the earth, grounding and anchoring you into your body, into this planet, into your nervous system. If you wish, you can feel an auric gold egg of light surrounding you, keeping you safe, secure, and contained. and keep your crown on. A royal sovereign, a queen, a king of your life, your practice, your body, and your sexuality. If you feel complete, you can go ahead and open your eyes. Thank you so much. It is an honor and a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you so much, Layla. It feels so good to be in your guidance, and thank you for your lifetime of work that's allowed you to just effortlessly, improvisationally share that practice with us, celebrating not only the more uncomfortable emotions, but even finding a remembering and an embracing and an intimacy with our own pleasure. I loved what you said about, if my body is a sacred temple to the divine, why not fill it with the beautiful incense of pleasure? That was so beautiful. That really clicked for me, and I feel like I'm going to take it with me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next episode of Why Isn't Everyone Doing This? Yay.